Socialists are like Wile E. Coyote. The Communist Manifesto is like the Acme instruction booklet, and the Roadrunner is like Peace and Prosperity. You see, after reading the Acme instruction booklet, Wile E. Coyote decided that it would be conceivable to catch the Roadrunner by strapping a rocket to his ass, or heaving an anvil through the air using a boulder and a flimsy board and his body for leverage. After strapping a rocket to his ass, it blew up in his face. Already we can see some similarities between Wile E. Coyote and Socialists. He went to his Acme friends, and they explained to him that the reason it didn't work was because he had not strapped the rocket to his ass the right way. They knew this because if he had done it the right way, it would have worked exactly like Karl Marx said it would work. So he tried it again. This time, instead of blowing up in his face, Wile E. Coyote shot straight up into the air. His head smashed through the overhanging cliff. He looked at the audience and gave a meek wave. And then he plummeted to the ground thousands of feet below, accompanied by a fading whistle and a poof. Poof. And even though Wile came nowhere near obtaining his goal, he went back to the Acme book to see where he had went wrong, without conceiving the possibility that maybe, just maybe, there is an inherent flaw in strapping a rocket to your ass. Can you now see similarities between a Weasley, nocturnally preying varmint, and Wile E. Coyote? That's right. Socialists also embrace a completely implausible concept put forth by a cartoonish book. And regardless of how many times that concept is proven to be implausible, unworkable, inherently flawed, and completely incapable of achieving its goals, they still insist on using it for a guide to try to achieve those goals. The only real difference is that when Wile E. Coyote's ideas fail, he ends up at the bottom of a canyon with a anvil on his head. And when socialist ideas fail, millions and millions of real people end up murdered, starved to death, imprisoned, impoverished, and enslaved. And you may ask, well, where is capitalism in this scenario? Capitalism is simply the paved road on which the Roadrunner is allowed to move forward. Sure, the road's not perfect. There are hills and bumps. If you live in Boston, there's a 3.5 mile long, $14.5 billion tunnel that took 25 years to construct. Well, come to think of it, maybe that came out of the Acme instruction book. But even with those imperfections, progress and prosperity will move forward faster and more smoothly on its own feet than it would if carried by Wile E. Coyote. Thanks for watching. Please look for my upcoming videos where I show the similarities between Joe Biden and Mr. Magoo, Barney Franklin Elmer Fudd, and Nancy Pelosi, and a raving loony who thinks that food stamps are the best way to stimulate an economy, that major legislation should be treated like a Pepsi blind taste test, and that if you have enough Botox done, nobody will ever be able to tell you're lying. Ciao.